Hi guys, my name is Lemmy and I'm the artist behind the YouTube channel Lemmy at Crescent. Today I will be showing you how I color eyes using Sakura Koi coloring brush pens. We will be using a watercolor technique with the brush pens and also the brush pens directly on the canvas. Other supplies you need but are not limited to would be water and a brush or a Sakura Koi blender pen, a paper towel for mistakes, and a piece of scrap paper or plastic to act as our painting palette. This image was lined with a black Sakura Micron pen, and I also used Sakura Jelly Rolls for highlights. The colors I will be using for this video I will divide into categories based on the item being colored. For the yellow bow, I will be using yellow for the base color and deep yellow for the shadow. For the purplish mascara, I will be using Bordeaux for the base and Burgundy for the shadow. For the whites of the eyes, I will be using light cool gray for the base color and light sky blue for the shadows. And finally, for the blue irises of the eyes, I will be using a combination of sky blue, steel blue, and Prussian blue. Let's get started on the coloring. The first thing we're going to color is the whites of the eyes. I do this using the Koi coloring brush pens as watercolors. I first apply those colors from the Koi coloring brush pen directly onto the scrap of paper. I then take a brush with water, or you can use that blending pen we talked about earlier, and transfer the color from the paper palette to the drawing itself. The lighter color I will be using is the light cool gray. I paint the color underneath the eyelid and use water to draw the color out, blending it gradually to white. I then take a bit of the light sky blue and paint it directly under the lids, letting the colors mingle as the picture is still wet at this point. I then take the light sky blue pen directly and paint underneath the eyelid, getting the darkest color at this point for the deepest shadow. Next, I color her mascara. Please note that in between this step and the last, you should let your picture dry. I forgot, and you can see that the purple has bled into the white of the eye. This is why we have our paper towel, so just dab up your mistake and correct the color after it dries. So for the mascara, I simply coat the lid with Bordeaux and then use Burgundy towards the inner crease and the outer edge of the mascara to darken the purple a bit. At this point, I let the mascara dry and I move on to the bow. This is the same deal as the mascara. I take the yellow and fully coat the bow and then take the deep yellow and fill out the shadows. For the shadows of the bow, I place them inside the loops, along the creases, and behind other pieces of bow closer to the viewer. And finally, we're moving on to the irises. This is the most complicated item we will be coloring today. I take the lightest of the blues, sky blue, and I do a base coat directly onto the picture with the pen. I leave a little chunk of white at the bottom, which I then take a brush and water and blend out a bit, still leaving a white portion at the bottom. Afterward, I take Prussian blue, which is our darkest color, and I circle the pupils. Now, normally this section of the eye would be black, but since this is a manga illustration, we can pretty much color it with anything we would like. After circling the pupil, I shade underneath the rim of the eyelid, careful to follow the shape of the eye. I then take the middle color, which is steel blue, and continue the shading of the eye, pulling the darks downward about halfway, just blending the color out a bit. I then take my brush with some water and gently blend everything a bit, taking out the sharp edges, and then adding another coat of the Prussian blue to add another, well, I added it where the previous coat had been, so this solidifies the darkest shadows of the eye. So now we move on to probably the most important feature of the anime eye, or the manga eye, and that is the shines. I added 2 blue shines to her eyes on the left side. How I made them blue was by using a blue Moonlight Jelly Roll, which is number 436, letting that set and dry, and then going over the blue chunk with a blue souffle, which is number 936. It is important not to completely cover the rim of the Moonlight Jelly Roll. After the souffle sets, it will become a pretty light blue color. Then I added the main shine to the eyes in the upper right with a classic white Sakura Jelly Roll. The first coat is a bit blue, which I love, but if you want a stronger coating of white, let it set and then go over it with another coat if you would like. And we're all done. Here is a scanned version of our finished picture. If you would like to know how I colored the hair and skin of this piece, you can find the other set of tutorials on Sakura of America's YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Bye guys!